Well, greetings and peace be with you, and welcome to Unity of Tempe. I'm Reverend Mitzi, and if you are watching online, I hope that you will be with us very soon. So welcome to February, the month where love isn't just in the air, it's also a great excuse to buy chocolates. Yes. So today's message, self-love, a spiritual journey, is a journey not to the heart of the chocolate box, but to the heart of ourselves. So as humans, we often struggle with loving ourselves. Anyone not struggle with loving yourself ever? No hands are going up, just so you know online that you're not alone. But self-love goes hand in hand with believing in ourselves. And if we don't believe we're worthy of goodness and being treated well, our lives will reflect that, right? In Unity, we believe that loving others begins with loving ourselves. As Jesus taught us, we should love our neighbors, yes, as ourselves, which implies that we need to love ourselves so we can love others, exactly. And it's an ongoing part of our spiritual journey because self-love is a practice and it's not a destination. There's no finish line we cross when we officially say, that's it. I love myself completely and fully. I will never, ever not love myself or doubt myself again. If anyone gets there, let me know. I think that we get there in the next dimension, most of us. So it's a daily, often hourly, sometimes it's a moment-by-moment practice, right? So what exactly is self-love? Well, it isn't about taking selfies and feeling fabulous, although that is wonderful, and feel free to do that all the time if you're so inclined. But it is about accepting the you that sings off-key in the shower. That would be me. The you that sometimes eats cereal for dinner. That would also be me. And the you that occasionally forgets where your sunglasses are. That would be me all the time, and they're usually on my head. But really, self-love is accepting ourselves in spite of not always liking ourselves. It's the ability to forgive ourselves. It's learning to feel good about who we are, even though there'll always be parts of ourselves that we're working on improving. Self-love, in spite of all that we find unsavory about ourselves, is understanding and accepting our inherent worthiness. And self-love is not selfish or narcissistic, unless it's completely taken to the extreme, which most of us aren't going to do at all, but it's a way of honoring the divine image and likeness within us. So spiritually, we get the importance of self-love and accepting our worth, right? We get that. And we get that being kinder to and more accepting of ourselves is really good for our emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. And it's good for our having healthy relationships. So why then is it so difficult sometimes to love and accept ourselves? Because we all admitted that at times it is, right? Well, the answer is pretty complicated, and it's not easy to answer. We are all affected by our upbringings, societal influences and traumas. And as children, most of us learned approval from conditioning, from our parents, from teachers, from family, from friends, from society. And behaviors that were considered good were often what? Rewarded, praised. And behaviors that were considered bad or unacceptable were often what? Punished in some way, right? And so we learned that approval. We learned that we got approval and love and acknowledgement when we behaved in a certain way. And some people grew up in families where when they did things that weren't accepted or were not considered good, then they got completely ignored. They got the silent treatment. And sometimes a person can be ignored by an entire community. Now, when I was a child growing up in England, we would often joke about sending someone who had cheesed us off to Coventry. We're sending them to Coventry, which meant that we would basically ignore that person and we'd act as if they didn't exist. Now, it's pretty unclear where this term, sending someone to Coventry, came from, but it's believed that it might have emerged during the English Civil War in the 1640s, when soldiers who supported the king, not Henry VIII, this is after Henry VIII, but when they were imprisoned in Coventry and shunned by locals who supported Parliament. So hence the saying, sending someone to Coventry. And while being sent to Coventry is not exactly as the modern term ghosting, we've all heard of that term, right? To ghost someone. It does have similarities. Ghosting is more about ending a personal relationship or a friendship and just doing it very suddenly and without any explanation and withdrawing from all contact. And sending someone to Coventry is more of a collective and public act of ostracism. But the emotional repercussions of both sending someone to Coventry and ghosting someone, being on the receiving end of that, includes rejection, hurt, anger, confusion, depression, and a lack of belonging, and it can diminish future relationships. Has anyone ever been ghosted here? Ever in your entire life? I mean, I have. Yes, definitely. And so my grandmother who raised me, she was really a master of the silent treatment. She would shut me out if she found something objectionable about something I had done. And I remember one time when I was a young teen that she shut me out and did not speak to me for 2 entire weeks. And there was only 2 of us living in the flat. So it was kind of weird, like, oh my goodness. Now, I adored my grandmother. I'm grateful for my grandmother in so many ways. But honestly, living with her sometimes was a little like a live action game of emotional hide and seek. Because I didn't know what she was thinking. She thought I could read her mind, but I didn't know what was going on. And I see in my own life, as much as I absolutely am so grateful and miss her terribly, how this has had repercussions in my own relationships, in my own life, and in my abandonment sometimes of myself or of others. And many of us, we're carrying around shame for things we shouldn't have shame about. Shame over things done to us and shame over things we've done to others, but we need to get on and forgive ourselves. Anyone ever feel like they're carrying shame around things people have done to you? A couple of people. I think a lot more. Just like it's safe to raise your hand. It's crucial to break this pattern of shame, or otherwise we'll never really be able to love ourselves. And likewise, not forgiving ourselves. Anyone got anything that they're like still working on forgiving themselves? I'm seeing some heads going. Forgiving ourselves for things that we have done or not done. If we don't forgive ourselves, that inhibits our self-love. Self-love doesn't mean we won't make mistakes, because we're going to make mistakes, right? It's like, I made mistakes today, okay. But it means that we can look it in the eye, make amends if possible, and move on more easily. One of our biggest obstacles to self-love is who we think we should be versus who we actually are. And it's that old game of comparison that many of us have played. Who's never played the game of comparison? Because I can tell you, it's out there. And so for many, self-worth comes only from externalities, only from things like achievement or success or income or outer appearance. And the inner spirit is ignored. So today, to fill up our inner spirit and get more of a handle on ways that we can easily align with loving ourselves more, we're going to look at practical tips for loving ourselves. Is that okay? Are you excited? I'm excited because I love doing this talk. Okay, so number one, affirm your divine nature daily. Start each day by affirming your inherent worthiness and divine nature. Use affirmations such as, I am a divine creation, cleverly disguised as a responsible adult. Let's say that. I am a divine creation, cleverly disguised as a responsible adult. And this sets the tone for a day filled with self-compassion and a bit of humor. And usually if we have a little bit of humor in our lives, our days go better. It helps rewire our subconscious mind, aligning it with spiritual truth and attracting positive experiences. And who doesn't want more positive experiences in their life? So number two, say it with me. Honor yourself. Fill up with spiritual fuel. Do things that make you feel more connected to your spiritual self. Take care of yourself. Make your bed. Make your bed. Why is that in there, right? Because it makes us feel good about ourselves and starting our day. Likewise does doing the dishes and the laundry. We're loving ourselves. Rest. Allow others to love, support you, and help you. Do things that make you feel alive. Have fun. Eat well. Exercise. Move your body. Dance. And every time that you do any of these things that you're already probably doing, some of those, you are actually loving yourself. So, I made my bed today. Actually, I didn't make it. Ron makes it. Ron usually makes it. So, feeling good about that. Yes, good. And number three, let's say it together. Aim to master your inner voice. You know, we'll probably never master that inner voice 100%, right? Anyone think I got it down 100%? It never talks back to me. It's kind of like that beginning video, right? Having an ongoing practice of self-awareness, though, diminishes its negative impact and power on us. Notice when your inner voice puts you down and how that makes you feel. It'll make us feel good when that inner voice puts us down. Instead, start praising yourself. Good job. I'm so proud of you. I love you. Say that. Good. Into your superhero pose. You don't have to stand up unless you want to, but put your hand on your hip right there. Good job. I'm so proud of you. I love you. I know it feels a little weird, right? But I know you're going to get really tired of hearing about the superhero pose, but it really will make a difference. You're going to hear about it at least one more time, well, probably two more times today. But you'll feel good, and it's going to, I promise you, put the kibosh on that inner critic at that moment. You might have to do it a moment later, but it will change for you if you continue to do that. Okay. Number 4. Challenge negative self-talk with facts. Buddhists explain that suffering has 2 arrows. The first arrow is the unfortunate event that happened to us. And the second arrow is the story that we tell ourselves about the event. Self-love means not shooting ourselves with that second arrow. Because the situation can be emotionally very painful, but the story that we tell ourselves about it is often the main source of our suffering. Avoid letting a challenging event define your self-worth. For example, maybe at one time you were laid off of a job, and you wondered if your employers were unhappy with your performance, and you began to believe that you were a bad worker and that you were incompetent, when the truth was that the company merely had to reduce the size of its workforce because of a shift in business. So remember that the majority of our suffering comes from a longing for things to be different from how they are right now. Acknowledging a current circumstance in non-judgmental terms supports us in accepting and moving past things we can't control. Oh my goodness, this one. Shake off other people's labels. Shake them off. Shake them off. I want to see everyone shaking them off. Shake it off. I see some people wanting to hold on to those labels. I do not want to hold on to them. I'm letting go. So examine beliefs about yourself and explore where they came from. Did you take them on from family, from teachers, from people who claim to want the best for you, but who put you down instead? Sometimes we internalize the voice of a hypercritical person in our lives. Anyone ever done that? Oh, yeah. And if someone ever told you that you're too much of this or not enough of that, remember, you're the perfect you. Anyone who says otherwise is just upset that they can't be you. Give yourself permission to be your authentic self. Number 6, reflect and journal. Find a quiet place and spend time in reflection, journaling your thoughts and feelings and experiences as you walk the path of self-love. This helps to process the emotions that you're going through, recognize patterns, and celebrate progress. And it's a way to dialogue with the inner Christ in you, seeking guidance and insight. Number 7, say this with me, surround yourself with positive influences. You're surrounded by all these positive influences right now. And people who will be watching online, or people who will be here next weekend, the week after that. You're surrounding yourself right here. Cultivate relationships with those that reflect the divine love you're fostering within yourself. Spend time with people who uplift and support, encourage you, and engage with books, music, and media that actually reinforce your sense of divine worth. Create and spend time in relationships that are reciprocal, ones in which you nurture and support one another. Invest in those ones, and not so much in the ones that drain you. Now, avoid giving your time and energy to people who trigger feelings of unworthiness. Now, sometimes that's not possible, because they may be family members, or they may be co-workers, or they may be someone. So you can't necessarily ghost them unless you choose to. I don't encourage you necessarily to do that, or send them to Coventry. But I do encourage you to minimize your time. Protect yourself as you go into those times. Because part of practicing self-love is not seeking water from an empty well. Who's ever gone to that well, found it dry, and then but maybe the next day it'll be full with water. And you know it's just not. You're not going to get that support, that love, that kindness, that empathy from that person. But there's plenty of people who would love to uplift and support you. Number 8, stand tall. Shoulders up, everyone. Sit back, head up. That's right. If you're able, stand up tall and straight. Often when we're not feeling loving towards ourselves, what do? We wilt like dying flowers. We allow our body to shrink and fold in on itself. And that's why, again, the superhero pose is so important. Because it encourages us to hold ourselves up, to breathe deeply, to deepen our breath and stand tall. You deserve to take up space. Now, without hitting anyone here, stretch out. That's right, stretch out. You deserve to take up space in life. You do, good job. Nala, take up space. Stretch out, my love. You deserve to get up for me, beautiful, sweet Nala, and stand up. She's like, no, I can't. But take up space, Nala. You deserve to be here and take up space in life. Yes, you do. And remember the old saying, you can't hide your light under a bushel. That's right. As you expand, your confidence expands and your light has more freedom to shine in the places it is here to reach. I remember some positions in life, usually when I'm at the end of a job or a relationship or something's happening, and what do? This. And I can feel myself doing it, and I know it's like time exit, right? So, number 9, remember, you don't have to be perfect. We love our dearest friends, those we really connect with and love, and family, despite their faults. But often it's hard for us to love us despite our faulty selves. Perfection should never be the prerequisite for being loved by others or loving ourselves. And remember, self-love is not a destination, it's a journey with scenic routes, pit stops, and sometimes there are flat tires. But as long as you keep driving with a sense of humor and a lot of kindness, you'll enjoy the ride. By incorporating the 9 spiritual practices I shared today into your life, you embark on a profound journey of self-love that not only transforms your own life, but contributes to the upliftment of the collective consciousness. And when in doubt, beloveds, love yourself as your dogs or bunnies, or in our case, cats, love you unconditionally and with a lot of excitement every time you walk through the door, even if you've only been gone for 5 minutes. That excitement looks different for cats and bunnies than it does for dogs, but nevertheless, we know that they are happy to see us. And so, beloveds, we're beginning this February by loving ourselves. Practice those steps. If you want to review any of this, you can go and watch the video later. I know that some of these things are like, yeah, simple, but it's challenging. One of the biggest challenges in our life is fully loving and accepting ourselves. So let's do it with more gusto this February and beyond. So to anchor this message today, there is a beautiful song by Karen Drucker. And I really invite you to settle down and think about these words.
I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will be easy on myself, and I love myself like a newborn baby child. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself, and I love myself like a newborn baby child. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. Now I know I am gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself, and I hold myself like a newborn baby child. I am gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself, and I hold myself like a newborn baby child. And I rock myself like a newborn baby child. And I hold myself like a newborn baby child. And I love myself like a newborn baby child.
Let us breathe in together. Say this together. I am a beloved child of God, here to be an ambassador of good. Yes. And so it is time for our financial blessings. I know that Glenda and Carla will help with that. Thank you so much. And we'll say together, actually, first of all, if you're giving electronically or however you're giving, I invite you to take your blessing, your financial blessing, into your hand or your phone and put it in your hand, and then put the other hand over it. And breathe into this. We'll say the bottom part first. I give my tithes and offerings to God, and I reap a millionfold. Take a moment to see that coming back to you and back to everyone. And now we'll say our other top part of this. I am a joyful sharer of my good. I remember that as I give, I receive, and that God is my source. Yes, indeed. Thank you. And if you're looking for those watching online, if you're looking for the Zelle or PayPal, here it is, and our mailing address. Thank you so very much if you're watching online for contributing also. Your blessings do make a difference and do help us stay here giving you messages each week, supporting your spiritual unfoldment and growth and all good things that are coming to you. Thank you. Thank you, Glenda and Carla. And Kent's coming around with the prayers here. And so we accept and bless and know that every single blessing that is given is used in the highest possible way for the wellness, the beingness, the unfolding consciousness of humanity. By us being here each Sunday, we take our message out into the world. We take our love, we take our kindness. It makes a difference, filling up our spiritual tank. And we also accept that every prayer in the prayer box is answered in the highest possible way. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Thank you for your January contributions to Matthew's Food Crossing and Bank. The next intentional collection is the end of February, Sunday, February 25th. I want to just remind you to bring non-perishable items. So fruits and vegetables. We got a little thing from Epiphany saying, please, they love them, but they can't accept those. So they need to be non-perishable items, meaning cans or bags or things that aren't going to, I guess, go off quickly. Is that right? Is that what non-perishable means? Yes, I guess so. All right. So thank you for that. Let's find someone and tell them that they're important. Yes, Kent Rini, you are important.
Mitzi, you are important.
Thank you. Nala, you are important. You are loved. Yes, you are. You make a difference. Yes. So be with us next week for more spiritual inspiration to support you in living your best life, living and loving. Because that is what February is all about, living and loving. So we set the foundation this week with self-love. I invite you to, this week, really deepen into that self-love. Find out, listen to when you're not being kind and loving to yourself. When does that occur? And maybe look at some of these practices and see how you can integrate them into your life. And I encourage you to share Unity of Tempe with someone and invite them to be with us. Let us say together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. All is well, and we are grateful. Yes, indeed. So, beloveds watching online, have a great week. I hope you join us in person very, very soon.